Please describe your job title and primary duties.
So when I first got hired at JCPenney, I was a retail sales associate. I worked in the men's department, so over time I was responsible for helping with the tailoring with the suits and the dress shirts, organizing clothes, cashier, also helping to find right shoe sizes for different people as they came into the store. So a lot of different responsibilities.
What was the work environment like?
When I worked there, it was during the summer before I got to college, so it was pretty slow pace, but there were times where a lot of people came in, especially with like a lot of sales that went on online and in store. So it was moderate paced and it was a fairly simple work environment.
What was your favorite part about working there?
I like the fact that my schedule remained the same for those couple months that I was there. It helped out with just remembering when I have to go in. I got a decent amount of pay. I got paid $8.50 starting out, and I would work maybe like 4 to 6 hour shifts at a time. It worked about 4 or 5 days a week.
Please describe the application and interview process.
So the application is all online. Once you fill that out, there was also an online survey that they did just to see what you're like when it comes to dealing with clients, helping customers out if you come into conflict with someone and everything like that. Over time, you get a call from them, and then their interviews are group-based. So what you do is they ask a decent amount of general questions. Each person gets a chance to respond to each one of those questions, and then over time they do like a team building activity. And what they did was to see who was taking control of the situation when it came to the team building activity, who would fall back, and who would try to get everyone else involved. I luckily was one of the people that tried to get everyone else involved and was paying a little bit more attention to stuff. And while everyone else was able to leave at the end of it, the two hiring managers asked me to stay after because they offered me the job right after the interview. So I was able to start up that following week.
What questions did the interviewer ask during the job interview?
Of course, they asked, have you ever worked in retail before? No, this was essentially my first job. They asked, like, how would I deal with an unruly client? Have I ever, like, how are my organization skills? Can I follow directions? A lot of general questions. Even though they weren't directed towards just one person per se, they gave everyone equal opportunity to try to answer these questions. But I felt like I was able to make my points whenever it was applicable for me to do so.
How were you notified that you received the job?
So when I did get the job, well, of course, they asked me up front, would you like the position? I said yes. So they already had my application, so they contacted me over the phone. They asked me to come in for the basic training, and the training was mostly computerized. So we would go online, go through a certain amount of training, which we were paid for, mock situations when we would try to have to like ring people out over the register. We watched videos on how to deal with customers, what to do in different situations, who to call if we were ever in a situation and stuff like that. So even though they were asking me if I wanted the job up front, they had my contact info over the phone, so they called.
What set you apart from other candidates?
I'm a little bit more direct. My mom works in HR. Well, both of my parents work in HR, so going into it, we would do some mock interviews. Been doing mock interviews all throughout high school, gone to etiquette dinners and stuff like that. So I feel like I've had a little bit more of an advantage than some people, but of course I was still a little nervous because it was my first job, you know. So.
What other advice would you give to a job seeker looking to gain employment?
I feel like for me, it was a good starting point for someone that didn't want to work in like food services or do anything like that feels like it's too much. I took the experience from JCPenney. I was able to roll with it. Now that I'm a manager here within the University of Akron Student Union, that experience that I had as an incoming freshman was able to carry with me with communication skills, organization skills, how to talk to customers, and even being able to learn some management skills from the people that I worked with.